Doing good.
So you have to have shoes on to go in there.
I do? Which code specifically is that?
It's the code of conduct. If you'd like to see, I'll show you.
Uh-huh. I'd like you to show me where it says I have to have shoes on. R.GIARMONA, Allied Universal Insecurity. Ryan. It does. So Ryan is reading from the RTD Code of Conduct, which was passed by the RTD Board on December 20th of 2016. He's looking for the provision under Health and Sanitation, which reads, walking on RTD facilities with bare feet is prohibited.
How do I get back to information?
What's that?
Elevator, so I can go back to the information.
Is there not an elevator right there?
Oh, okay.
If you go right just around the edge right there, there should be a button for the elevator.
Okay,
If not, then there's another elevator at the next pavilion over. It's under Health and Sanitation.
45, walking in a vehicle while barefoot.
Oh, mind if I read that with you?
Putting shoes on, feet up on the seat, sanitation, family seater area, design trash receptacles. Probably sitting on urinating, depending on engaging in public using, exposing one's hands, probably federal. To defending vandalism. Database director.
Oh, this is fascinating. The wording is actually different in here than it is on the provision that they passed on December 20th of 2016. So under sanitation, on number 45, he's citing the walking in a vehicle while barefoot is prohibited.
It's on the vehicle or station itself.
It doesn't say station itself, it says vehicle.
Okay.
So I believe that authorizes me to go into that building without shoes on. Is that correct?
Try.
I don't usually try, I usually do. Unless you can provide me with some other specific...
Well, if you'd like, you can talk to my supervisor.
Well, if you can't provide that to me, and obviously I know that by heart, I'm just going to go ahead and go on in there. All right, thank you.
What you'd like to do,
That is what I'd like to do.
and I will let my supervisor know.
Oh, thank you. I presume I could get a copy of that code of conduct downstairs? Oh, marvelous. Thank you, Ryan. Curiously, the code of conduct that I read and participated in drafting, they did change some of the provisions upon my recommendation from the original draft, but some others remain. This particular one remained. And the provision actually read, walking on RTD facilities with bare feet is prohibited. Ticketing is closed. Good, how are you? No, I don't wear shoes. Oh, could you show me that policy, please? Outstanding. Thank you, Mr. Minor. Sure, thank you. Appreciate it. Sergeant Hewitt, H-U-E-T-T. They're getting the policy for me. They're saying that I have to have shoes on, and I don't find that policy in here anywhere.
But yeah, I'm downtown. I'm about in the middle of the mall. Okay. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Here comes Ryan. He was polite about it, at least. That's not always how it goes, so I appreciate his politeness. You're studying astutely. Were you able to find a copy of the?
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
the ones here, okay? We're going to
Yeah.
go underneath sanitation, okay?
Right.
Bring your shoes, feet up on seated stand platform, da-da-da, what's the one?
45 is the one I believe you're looking for.
Walking in the vehicle while barefoot, okay? So that one is for the vehicles.
Uh-huh.
But also down here, number 53, failure to obey any directive from an RTD employee or representative related to an RTD operations. So that's
Uh-huh.
you put your shoes on. You're failing in that directive, okay?
I'm
Here's a
failing in
copy.
that directive?
Yes, because I asked you to put some shoes on.
But you don't have the lawful authority to make me put shoes on.
While here at RTD in uniform, I do.
You do? Do you have the lawful authority to make me dance like a chicken?
So I'm not going to play your game with you.
Well, you probably
I
will,
showed you
yeah.
what they are.
Well, I'm not going to comply with your order, so now what are you going to do about it?
Ask you to leave property.
All right, well, and what's going to happen if I don't leave the property?
If you refuse to leave property, then we'll get what's called a PAW unit down here, which is Denver Police,
Uh-huh.
and we'll have them talk to you.
What does that mean, have them talk to me?
And they'll come down and talk to you, and they'll tell you the same thing. That's the orders.
But
That's our city
but you don't
policy.
have a policy that authorizes you to restrict me.
Hey, just get a PAW unit.
Just get a ball unit? So, Mr. Minor, are you telling me that if I don't leave this property right now, under your directive, that you're going to have the Denver police come and arrest me? So are you telling me that you're going to exercise the authority of an external jurisdiction on this public property open to the public because I won't follow an unlawful directive by a goon with a gun? Is that what you're telling me, Mr. Minor? Mr. Minor, I'm talking to you and you work for me. Why are you walking away from me? You took the time to give me this code of conduct. You failed to identify a provision which obligated me to wear shoes in this public property. And now you've threatened me with the police and you're walking away from me. I don't think that that is very sensical. Do you think that that's very sensical? I don't think that's very sensical. What's your name, sir? Why? Because you work for me. That's why, Sergeant.
I don't work for you.
You don't?
I work for RTD.
Last time I checked, RTD was a public entity. It was created by the Colorado legislature, and it was funded by tax money.
Where are your shoes at, sir?
I don't wear shoes. What's your name, sir?
Okay, well, you need shoes down here.
I do? Would you show me in this code of conduct where I'm obligated to wear shoes down here? This is your code of conduct, right?
It is unsanitary for you not to have to have shoes.
It is unsanitary. Yes, the last time I ate my Cheerios off the floor of an RTD facility, I got some sort of disease. Right now, nobody eats off the floor. So here, would you show me in this code of conduct what obligates me to wear
You need
shoes?
to leave for being disorderly at this
SCEPONISA. So how specifically am I being disorderly by asking you to show me the provision in your code of conduct which obligates me to wear shoes?
Give me a second, let me talk now.
Sir, sanitation rule 45.
Excuse me.
Vehicle while barefoot. It says vehicle, but
It does.
also 53. It's failure to obey any directive form of RTD employee or representative related to RTD operations.
It's vehicle or station, correct?
Yes.
No, vehicle does not equal vehicle or station. So what specifically about your obligation for me to wear shoes in this location is directly related to the operation of RTD? Am I inhibiting a vehicle from moving? Am I preventing a bus from operating?
So are you actively catching something?
What's that?
Are you actively catching something? It's Sergeant Doherty, you know me.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Yeah, so are you actively catching something today?
actively catching
Are
something.
you going to be catching a bus or a train? Are you walking through?
Well, that's my business. Right now, I'm wanting to know, what?
You have to know if you're actively using services. If you're not using services, you cannot be doing that down here.
Okay, whatever. So are you telling me that if I don't tell you what my business is, that I'm not allowed to be down here?
You have 2 hours.
All we're asking is if you're catching a bus or a train.
You said that I have 2 hours.
2 hours within a 24-hour period that you're by the code of conduct that you have in your hand. State that you're at any RTD facility.
So I'm only allowed to be at this facility for 2 hours. Is that 2 consecutive hours, or is that 2 total hours added up in a 24-hour period?
2 total in a 24-hour.
2 total in a 24-hour period. So do you guys have somebody that you're going to pay to monitor me and ensure that I'm on this property less than 120 minutes?
We try not to be strict, but when, you know.
Well, you're trying to be strict over bare feet right now, and your drivers operate without shoes on. That was in the news the other night.
Was it?
Yeah, so I'm wanting to know what is the lawful authority for you to tell me that I have to leave this facility because I'm not wearing shoes?
Just asking, are you actively walking through? I asked you.
Well, yeah, I know, and I'm declining to answer that question. But Mr. How's that pronounced? Is it pronounced Zaponis? Saponis? Mr. Saponis, you're telling me, and Mr. and I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. Is that Garamona? Garamona? Okay. So they've told me that I just heard my name on the radio. Okay, so they're saying that this provision over here, where did that go? So this provision here, which says walking on a vehicle with bare feet is prohibited. This isn't a vehicle. Is this station moving? I mean, I realize we're hurling through space. Oh, it's a sanitation problem. How specifically is it a sanitation problem?
We don't want anything to happen to you.
Like what? Are you guys putting chemicals on the floor of the RTD facility that I should be concerned about absorbing through my skin?
There's people with wheel carts and hard boots that could step on you, or you could kick your foot on one of the metal objects.
Yeah, I could be hit by an asteroid too, actually.
So when you get up the escalators, if you catch one of those, you can put your feet on that.
Yeah, did you hear about that woman who was wearing a pair of Crocs and she got stuck on an escalator and it actually ended up ripping her skin off of her skull and killing her? So I would be better off with bare feet than I would be with Crocs. And quite frankly, if you're concerned about people's foot safety, you need to ban the high-heeled shoe. Because the high-heeled shoe is responsible for more injuries, deaths, and orthopedic surgeries than any other form of footwear ever devised by man.
I mean, you would know more about that.
I would know more about that than that, actually. You guys may not realize this, but RTD passed a provision prohibiting bare feet on their facilities, and then they started abusing the homeless community and not allowing them to get on their buses and use public transportation if they lacked shoes. So I don't care if you care, but I'm going to say it anyway, all right? You know, because that's not how this works. So, excuse me, I'm talking. Don't interrupt me.
But I don't think he's good. One thing you can't do is, you know that you can't hinder people or question people whether it's actually fit to public transportation.
Okay, so I haven't hindered anybody because they're all waiting for a bus. And, yeah, no, I didn't question him. So a question has a question mark at the end, and it implies a response. I was not implying any response. I was lecting at them, and that is
You're allowed to elect people.
Sure, I'm allowed to elect people. So what you may not know is that what RTD did when I was objected to them denying homeless people access to the bus is I took my shoes off on an RTD bus, and I'm facing 2 years in jail for it. So that's why I'm down here today, because your policy does not say that I'm not allowed to that I'm not allowed to walk barefoot inside your facilities. It expressly uses the word vehicle, and it's my impression that this is not.